Hello my lovelies and welcome back to another video. Today I want to answer some of your questions that you had regarding my C-section experience. And this is just my experience, what I went through. You guys can watch the full birth vlog. It's real, it's raw, it's incredible, it's beautiful, and it's very emotional. But I did ask you guys if you had any questions, what kind of questions. You guys had some really great ones, so thank you. So, was it an emergency C-section or planned? No, it wasn't planned. It was an emergency. It was definitely not what I expected, but I think my main thing that I felt was relief after being in labor for 5 days and pushing for many hours and just not getting anywhere, and the pain just getting more and more intense. The midwife and the doctor suggested that we go for a C-section for the sake of my health and for baby's health, and that's how he came into this world. So the next question, how big is the incision? Were you able to pick up the baby right away? How was sleeping? Did you use any sort of bands? Ooh, a lot of good questions. So my incision is roughly 6 inches wide and it's doing really good. I am 10 weeks postpartum and it's feeling great. Was I able to pick up the baby right away? No. But with the help of Andre in the hospital, it was incredible. First thing I remember after coming back to, what was the recovery room, I guess you could call it, back to the laboring room, they brought him and they just put him on my chest and they wheeled me to postpartum, and basically I held him for many hours, just chilling skin to skin, trying to breastfeed, all of those good things. And yeah, I wasn't able to get out of bed for what, like the first, what did they say, 8 hours, maybe more? But basically they wanted me that evening. I had him at 2:19 p.m. and that evening around 8 o'clock p.m. they wanted me to walk first to the bathroom and just to see how I'm doing, because they were gonna take the Foley out the next day. So that's what we did. We kind of changed the padding and basically they made me get out of bed, but that was a good thing. So how was sleeping? Sleeping was pretty rough, but I can't complain because Andre is with me at home and he was so helpful the first couple of weeks. But it was incredible. I tried to take naps during the day. Whenever I could sleep with him, that's what I would do, and Andre would do the same. We tried to take as many naps as we possibly could. So sleeping, it was okay. It was good. We're getting better at it. Next question is, did you use any sort of bands? Yes, I did. I used a band that they gave me at the hospital right away. As soon as they told me to get out of bed, I put one on, and that was incredible because it kind of just holds everything in. It kind of squeezes everything, but in all of the right places. It puts pressure in all the right places. I think the worst was when you're putting on the band was kind of just feeling the incision on the inside, because there's 2 different incisions. There's the incision on the inside of your uterus and then of the skin, basically the layers on the outside. So right now I am still pretty numb on the outside. I can feel everything, but still kind of numb around the incision. But the incision on the inside is really nice. I don't feel it anymore, but yes, I definitely wore a band that they gave me at the hospital, and then I came home and I used a belly band. Belly Bandit, I think is what it's called, right babe? I think it's just Belly Bandit. Next question. Did you feel or had anyone at any time post-birth make you feel like you hadn't given birth to your baby? I know many mamas feel this way post C-section, or they are led to feel guilty by comments made by family, friends, and strangers, and I can't imagine how that must hurt. We had like a couple of comments from people on the internet when we told them, well, when we shared the birth video of how we had to have a C-section, but regarding family, friends, and close people in our life, no, everybody knew our situation. And even if it was a C-section, I have my mom and my sister, they both work in labor and delivery, so they all know the stories. But we didn't have any comments that way that, oh, you didn't give birth to your baby. Yeah, I did. He was inside of me for 9 months and I delivered him. Regarding if it was a C-section or not, he came out of my womb, so that's definitely delivering a child. And if anybody gives you anything, you are the mama. You are incredible. No matter how your baby came into this world, it's just ridiculous how people can give their opinion about your birth. So I think, yeah, it's unfortunate that some people feel the need to express their opinion of, you know,
I mean, I think it's phenomenal that there's options.
Exactly. I mean, if there was no C-section on the table, I probably wouldn't be here and neither would be Emirates. So thank you, God, for C-sections and great surgeons and great midwives and just great doctors overall. And I'm sorry if anybody has told you that you didn't give birth to your baby. You definitely did. Another question was, how long did it take you to recover? Were you able to lift Emmett right away? So that's I kind of talked on that. I would say 100%. I was fully recovered. I felt recovered around 7 weeks to 8 weeks, just because sometimes I would still, if I would do certain things, I would still feel a little bit of like pinching on the inside where my incision was. But otherwise, like I felt pretty good around like 5 to 6 weeks. Right around that time, like I could do pretty much everything and anything. I would take ibuprofen that they prescribed from the hospital for me to take home, but I stopped because I don't want to rely on the medicine to get me through the day or get me through the night. I would only take it if I felt like it was just way too painful or we were doing something or whatever else.
I mean, I remember you got off within a week. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah, within a week, I was completely done with medicine and I just relied on my belly bandit, Andre, and just taking it really easy. I didn't take a lot of stairs. I didn't really take any long walks. Like I would walk around the house, like around the driveway, around our house. Sometimes I think we took one walk in our neighborhood in our park, but mostly we just went to my sister's and I just kind of chilled out, relaxed. But yeah, it took it really easy because my midwife told me at the hospital and my nurses, they were saying, listen, if you start bleeding more, that means your body's telling you to slow down. So sometimes I would start seeing less blood and then I would get up and like stay up on my feet for several hours, and then next thing I know, I'm bleeding a little bit more. So I would be like, okay, listening to my body, making sure I'm feeling good. And that's kind of, I would say, like right now I feel 150, like 200%. I feel so good. I feel more myself. It's such a difference. I honestly felt like I would never feel like myself again. It's such a strange feeling, but yeah, it took me, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks to recover fully, but right now I'm like 200%. Like I said, I'm 10 weeks postpartum. Another big question was, how was my breastfeeding process? Honestly, the only negative experience I had was the first 24 hours because I was so pumped with fluids prior to the C-section and during the C-section and after the C-section. I was really swollen, and especially swollen in my breasts, and he could not get a latch because of the inflation, yes, of the boobies, and it was really hard. And I had lactation consultants come in that night, and it was pretty rough because I want to make sure he's fed, and a fed baby is a happy baby no matter how they're fed. But I really wanted to breastfeed, and I had colostrum coming out, and it was incredible because basically I self-expressed into a little bottle and we took a little syringe, and that's how we fed him for pretty much the first 24 hours. And he took it really well. He had a really good latch, but he just couldn't get latched onto me because I was so swollen. But afterwards, pretty much the breastfeeding has been phenomenal. It's been such a godsend, and I can't express how grateful I am that I can breastfeed him and that the breastfeeding experience has been really good thus far. Like there's been no bleeding, no cracking, like no pain towards me, and I'm really thankful for. So breastfeeding has been incredible with my C-section experience. This question is really interesting. How much does it cost for a C-section? Obviously, it depends what part of the world you're in. Mine was a little bit over 20,000 plus whatever his bill was. So I think in total it was like around 30,000.
The most expensive way is if you go and you try to do it naturally and you progress all the way down to C-section, you're gonna pay for everything.
For literally what we did, because I got induced, I tried to labor, and then it didn't happen, and then basically I got the C-section. So that's basically why it was so expensive, because everything leading up to the C-section was included in the bill, obviously. So somebody asked, what were your feelings leading up to it, how it felt during? Like I said, it was a roller coaster of emotions because I was in labor for so long already. And I think, like I keep saying, it was, again, very scared, very nervous, unexpected, but the biggest was relief because I saw the light at the finish light, at the finish light, at the end of the tunnel. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was so excited. We both were just so excited and relieved that we're finally going to meet our baby. We're both healthy, and let's just do this. Let's just get it done. And the whole C-section experience, it was very surreal because I've never been under, you know, on an operating table, and a C-section is a really, really intense surgery. And it was kind of scary because it was super bright in the room. There were so many lights. They wheel you in on a bed, and then they transfer you onto the operating table, and then I had to get what is it called? A local anesthesia, because the epidural was not working on my body. So they had to take the epidural out and then put the local in. And it was just, yeah, it was just a crazy amount of emotions. And then finally they let Andre into the room after I was prepped. I was basically laid like this with my arms on each side of my body, and then there was a big curtain in front of us so I can't see and then Andre can't see, but then they actually opened the curtain for us when they took him out, so that was incredible. And it was a really good experience. I had incredible surgeons. I had an incredible midwife standing next to us and explaining us the whole process every step of the way, and it was awesome. Just to hear his little cry when he was taken out, it was beautiful. Have you had any problems with your scar, for example, it opening or getting infected? No, thank God. So the type of how they closed my incision on the outside, they used surgical glue, and it was good. Like, the glue came off when it was supposed to come off, and let me just say, it's a very strong glue. It's insane. I didn't have any reactions. I didn't have any problems with my scar. My scar is healing. It's still pink, and it's still a new scar, but it's healing, and if like I can touch it now and it doesn't hurt. Like I said, it still feels a little bit numb, but Andre said with his scars on his legs that they are gonna feel numb, like in those certain areas. But yeah, thank God I didn't have any problems with my scar, and feels good, and it's looking good. It looks like it's healed, and it's starting to, yeah, it's like a nice shade of pink. Let's just put it that way. Another question. Did you wait for his first bath until you were ready? That's something my mom missed out on with both my sister and I. Yes, we actually asked them not to give him a bath, or they even said, the midwife was saying that they don't give baths, basically. They did wipe him down, obviously, from everything. But yeah, we give him a bath when we came home, when he was ready and when I was ready. So I think that was incredible. Right, babe?
We give him a bath after the...
Well, the belly button, yes. The full, like a bath, but we gave him sponge baths when we came home. I hope that makes sense. Next question is, things you didn't really know, were not expecting about post C-section, physical precautions after. I think,
Maybe kicking you?
Yes, the most one was, how am I going to feed a little baby on a schedule? Because little newborns, they need to feed like what, every 2 hours, every 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even 1 hour. And I didn't really know how I was going to be with a wound, an incision that, you know, if I'm not careful, it could possibly open, it could possibly get infected. So that was the one thing I didn't really know what to expect. And feeding him, I had to come up with different positions, and the one position was the football hold, where you literally place his little body around or behind you, and his little face is right here, so that way his body is not right on your incision. And that was, I think, the best hold to feed him, and it was great, and it worked, and it was good for the first couple of weeks, and then I kind of switched over once the incision felt much better.
What about hormones? The amount.
Yeah, well, I think everybody experienced hormones after, no matter type of delivery, but
you don't know what they're gonna be like, right?
Yeah, I mean, post C-section, I think a lot of that also, let's just put it that way, they came in strong after delivery, because there's so much happening. Now you have this little baby that you have to be responsible for, and I can't really move. I'm in pain and tired, and Andre's tired and just so excited and happy, emotional. You know, there's so many things. The hormones really come at you hard. And yeah, like I said, that was the biggest thing I struggled with, was not being able to do a lot of things, the tiniest, smallest task that I could, before. Even being 9 months pregnant, I could, still bend down and get certain things. And then with having the C-section, like, you can't bend down, it hurts. So it's just those types of things. But I just had to keep reminding myself, and Andre kept reminding myself, like, hey, just relax, just take it easy. You really need to get better and just really heal up completely before, you start doing a lot of these things. And I'm happy that I did. I really took my time. I didn't really force myself. And yeah. Did you have birth envy after your C-section? Not where you hate everyone, just wish that you could have gone natural. I did. Took me a long time to get over it, but I was always so happy when my friends could give birth naturally. No, I didn't have envy, just because I tried doing it naturally for 4 days, and then finally the 5th day he came out via C-section. So I think it's beautiful. I commend every single mother out there that has done it naturally, without drugs, with drugs, with whatever help you did, with no help. You are incredible, and I commend mothers that had to get induced and then had to get a C-section. I think every single mother that gave birth is incredible, no matter your circumstance. Everybody takes it differently. I know there's so many people out there that only want to have birth a certain way. You guys hear him? He also has his opinions, obviously. But we went into this whole pregnancy and birth situation making sure we are not set on one plan and that's it, because I didn't want to get disappointed, Even though I went into my birth never expecting to get a C-section, it happened. And I'm happy that it happened because I'm here and he's here. And there's certain expectations, and I hope if you are struggling with this still today, you find some peace in it. Just look at it, you're healthy, your baby's healthy, no matter the circumstance. That's just how it had to be. Next question. I'm scheduled for a C-section 2 weeks from today. Yay. I'm excited for you. I hope everything goes smooth and you have a great recovery. So, how was the pain post-op? What helped the pain? Let me do those first. Like I said, the pain, it was pretty bad, but it was bearable because I used the belly bandage, and I used some of their drugs for the first week. They prescribed me ibuprofen and I believe Motrin, right? For those two. And then they prescribed me a laxative because, you guys, nobody talks about that. Yeah, that's painful, is the bloating and the bubbles. Oh man, that's bad. So I think that was, besides the incision, but I think the worst pain, honestly, is just the gas. It is so bad because everything is just so backed up, and going to the bathroom, number 2, definitely if they prescribe you a laxative, or if they don't, please ask for a prescription for a laxative. If you want to do it naturally, with drugs, whatever, I took it both naturally. I drank whatever I could find that helped me go to the bathroom, and then I took a couple of the drugs that they prescribed as well. And please take them, because the gas, the bloating, the constipation, yes, you're welcome. It gets really bad and it gets really painful. And if you don't do something about it, it's going to be a rough time in the bathroom. Let's just put it that way. I'm speaking from experience. So I think that was also a really kind of bad experience that nobody really kind of pushed on. Like, please take your laxatives. Please make sure you're mindful of that. Don't stop taking them, because I stopped and I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'll go to the bathroom. I'm fine. No, please take them. Yes, it was painful. Number 2. I was scared to go number 2 for like a week. And then it finally happened because,
Laxative kicked in.
Laxative kicked in. What helped the pain? I would say definitely the drugs the first week, and then just taking it really easy. And I used the belly bandit for, I would say, I think 4-5 weeks. I used it every single time I would put on. If I knew I was gonna go about the house or we're gonna go somewhere else, I made sure to put something really tight and secure, because that really helped. It was incredible. I did not wear it at night just because I wanted everything to kind of breathe at night, so that's what I did. And yeah, just taking it really easy, and maybe even using like a little pillow or a blanket if you have to cough or sneeze. I think that was another thing. You literally can't cough or sneeze because it's so painful. You're like, that's the cough right there. And sneezing, yeah, forget about it. I had to do this every single time to calm my sinuses down so I wouldn't sneeze. I couldn't sleep on my sides. I only could sleep on my back. I remember that. I could not sleep on my left or my right because of my incision. I just felt like it was pulling and just moving around like it shouldn't, so I would always sleep on my back, which I'm a huge side and belly sleeper. I still haven't slept on my belly since giving birth. I'm so excited to finally sleep on my belly, but it's because of the boobs. They hurt if I sleep on my belly. It's not the incision, it's the boobies. So I'm still waiting for that day for me to sleep on my belly. I'm so excited. Next question is, what clothes were most comfortable after? How independent were you able to for the first few days after getting up from the bathroom, feeding baby, repositioning, etc.? I would say the most comfortable clothes were high-waisted leggings, nothing low-rise, because the incision, my incision is the bikini line incision, so you don't want anything low-rise, especially like underwear, leggings, anything that you're wearing. So I would say stay away from that and go maybe for like high-rise to mid-rise. I wore the postpartum leggings from Blanqui. Those are incredible because they kind of put a compression on your belly, so that was really, really nice. What was my least favorite part about having a C-section? Did anything surprise you about the C-section or recovery? And how did having a C-section affect you emotionally when it wasn't a part of your initial birth plan? Oh man, so many good questions.
You kind of answered most of them.
Yes, I answered most of them. Like I said, my least favorite part was afterwards, the not knowing what to expect, like the physical pain, and then not being able to do like everyday things that I was able to do being pregnant, and now I have a baby and I can't really do a lot of stuff. So I think that was my least favorite part. And having a C-section, did it affect me emotionally? I would say not in a negative way. I think just all of the hormones after the pregnancy, I think it was just, I don't think it was particularly having a C-section, just because we were already past a point of like, listen, we're getting a C-section, we're trying to have a natural labor, it's not happening, like we need to move on and go to the next option. And I think I was ready, even though I didn't expect it or I didn't even think of it, my body was just like, it's okay, we got this, we'll figure it out, you know what I mean, type of thing. And then having Andre on the side, yeah, it definitely did affect me emotionally in a negative way. It was all positives, and I can't say enough good things about it just because I had a really good experience, even though I never thought I would have a C-section, but here we are, and I'm just happy the way everything happened, and I can't say anything negative about it, just because I can't change it. I can't go back and, have a natural birth. So did it affect your relationship?
C-section?
Yeah.
No.
I think it actually brought us closer together because I'm a very independent person. I like to do things myself. So having to rely on Andre for pretty much most of the physical things of my life revolved around Andre, and he had to do them for me or even just help me through a lot of things. So putting myself, in his care, I think it brought us a lot closer together, and just, I trust him so much more now with myself and little Emirate. I think just him being my advocate, I'm like, you got this, baby. You just kind of answer all the questions for me now medically. If there's anything ever wrong with me, you got this. It's something, that I had to learn, and I had to learn this way to give a lot of the trust to Andre. Another question is, do you think you'll attempt to have a Vback for the next baby? Honestly, that was a question that it was kind of running through my mind. Am I gonna be able to have it naturally a second time, or am I gonna need to have a C-section? And right after my C-section was done, they closed me up. My surgeon walked over and she said, hey, everything looks good. You did really great. And if you want to do a Vback next pregnancy, you 100% can, and try to attempt to do it. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know how that pregnancy is gonna go. I'm hoping we're gonna have a couple more kids at least, and we're gonna attempt to have a Vback. And if not, then we're gonna have to have a C-section. But I'm not going to only, stick to the Vback and just really be, I don't want to become obsessed with that idea, just because I don't want to get disappointed. And like I said, this whole pregnancy it's not a disappointment. It's just unexpected type of a birth, and that's kind of, I'm keeping my options open, but I'm happy that I have that option as of right now because I'm healing really well and my surgery went great. So hopefully, we'll see. I think I kind of answered most of the questions regarding the C-section and a lot of the questions that I had. I'm just thankful the way my birth plan came out with Emma, and I wouldn't change anything just because that's just the way it was supposed to be. I'm happy the way I have recovered from it, and now I know so much more about it, and it's been an incredible journey so far, and I can't say anything bad, I can't say anything negative, and I really hope if you are pregnant right now that you are keeping, your options open, do more research, read more into different deliveries, make sure you have great advocates by your side that really are looking for your best interest. They're not just pushing their ideas because that's how they want you to have your birth or that's because how they're taught. Just please have somebody on your side that will just want the best for you and make sure you're happy and healthy and, everything goes great with you and the baby, because I didn't have that great of experience at the birth center, and it left a really sour taste in my mouth. And that was one of the other questions are you gonna, if you can have a VBAC, are you gonna try to have it at our birthing center? And I'm gonna say no, I'm gonna pass on that because it wasn't a great experience. And I think that was the only thing that was really negative for me and left a really sour taste in my mouth. And I'm gonna try to stick with the midwife, but a more experienced midwife that maybe only has X amount of patients, or a midwife at the hospital, just somebody that can give me more options, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you guys want to watch my birth video, we talk more about that of, what's going on and the real emotions, and basically in real time, we try to film as much as we could for ourselves and to share with you guys, because everybody has a different experience and so many had a similar experience to mine. So I'm really happy that I can share with you guys and just kind of pass on a little bit of experience to you and just tell you that you are incredible. If you're pregnant right now, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you're not, you got this, mom, and you are strong. Please listen to yourself, listen to your body. Know that if you know something is off, tell them. Don't be scared, because it could save you and it could save your child. And yeah, just you are your biggest advocate, and so is the person that you are there with, either your husband, your partner, your parent, whoever it is. They need to be your advocate for you. Please share your experiences down below with all of us. How did you manage your pain? How did you manage your day-to-day life? If you had a C-section, if you had a natural birth, please share your experiences with all of us. And I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a great pregnancy. If you're still pregnant, I hope you have a great delivery. I hope you have a great postpartum. All of it is so beautiful, and I'm just so happy for all of you. But for now, you guys, thank you for watching, spending time with us, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.